obviously the thing I think many people would know you for is really, the fact that you have been such a pioneer through Esalen Institute. So looking back on the 5 decades almost of the Esalen experiment, what would you say has been the great learning or great learnings that stand out for you today?
Well, there have been several, Craig. I mean, for one thing, Esalen provided the place, the venue for an awful lot of practices and ideas that were relatively unknown in the West, say in the 60s and 70s. It provided a place for them to get known. We were probably the main place, certainly in the United States, for the advent of somatic practices, everything from sensory awareness and Charlotte Selver, that became a great base for her, Rolfing, the Feldenkrais method, all of that. The field of somatics, Don Johnson, perhaps more than anyone, has given philosophical basis to it as a field. If it is a field, it would be a field in the sense that Hatha Yoga is a field in India. Hatha Yoga comprises God knows how many hundreds or perhaps thousands of approaches and techniques. The same now with somatics. But in any case, Esalen provided a place for a primary place for that, and it did so as well for a number of crossover approaches that began as therapy and ended up as ways of increasing emotional awareness, emotional intelligence, and so forth. For example, Gestalt therapy, Esalen became the operating base for Fritz Perls, and who got to be famous when he was living at Esalen, and Gestalt therapy spread all over the place, not primarily at Esalen as a way of symptom cure, not as a medical procedure, but as a way of self-cultivation, self-inquiry, and opening up into what Fritz Perls called authenticity. There were a number of approaches like that you could say were therapies, but they really are kind of emotional yogas of the psyche. Psychosynthesis was one of Roberto Assagioli. And then in other fields, I mean, we really did provide a place for a lot of meditation teachers who had not been known at all. I believe we were the first organization to give a grant to Tarthang Tulku. That was back in 66 or 67 and so forth, and got to know so many of the wonderful Buddhist and Hindu teachers that came over. So Esalen has been a meeting place, a convener of practitioners and theorists, and to show that we as modern people can look at all these approaches in a free and independent spirit. And one of our main aims was not to let anyone capture the flag. In other words, keep it in open exploration. Esalen, I think, has an authentic mission to be a small college, a meeting place where these new openings can be viewed.